Hello, my name is Hannah Saib, a second-year architecture student at UC Berkeley. In my final project for Architecture 170B class, I will be sharing my own architectural identity. In the future, I want to be an architectural influencer that brings back everyone's senses to what beauty actually is. I believe that since modern architecture and art have evolved, the word beauty has been used in a lot of different ways that seem to be making people confused. Making something radically different, rather than making something beautiful, have been a motto for around a century, and in my opinion, this movement has made art less significant. Especially Dadaism is very ironic to me because it is an anti-art movement that calls art a nonsense. However, it is a very influential movement of avant-garde, and people have favored it and called it a form of art. In the postmodern era, the era that we are living in right now, I believe that architecture has become a lot more inclusive, and there are revivals of many different styles. I like the inclusiveness, but I think people are very confused in this era, especially because of the significant modern era that made us forget what actually beauty is and what art is. If we don't know what beauty is, I think all the styles are not very meaningful, but just like a commodity that serves as giving more options for us to choose from. So, how do I define beauty? I think beauty should be something that does not change, such that it shouldn't be dependent on time or trends. This belief also comes from my Christian faith that God is beauty itself and God is an unchanging being. I think art and architecture should be something that resembles the essence of the real beauty. In other words, I think art and architecture should be more like a channel to point to the ultimate beauty, which is God, who is beauty itself. If art successfully serves as that channel, I believe that art can be so beautiful because it points to something that's beauty itself. And I think design without this idea is limiting art's possibility. I think one of the biggest challenge the design industry faces today is how they focus on something radical, unique, or functional that only satisfy what's on stake and does not see something beyond to show beauty, despite that historically, arts and architecture have evolved around human nature, the desires to reach something higher, which is God and which is beauty itself. I think we are too distracted to do so in our confusing postmodern era. That is why I want to become an architectural influencer that resembles true beauty and reminds people of true beauty. So specifically, how do I do that? It is a very difficult question that I'm still figuring out, but I have a few ideas. First, I would love my architectural works to be something that lifts people's minds up. This could be through the high ceilings and full lights of Gothic-style architecture, or through wabi-sabi, which means refined poverty and appreciation of passing time in Japanese traditional beauty standards. Or it could also be through abstract mosaics that give people opportunities to discern the mysteries of the divine. However, I don't want my work to be distracted with too many decorations such as Baroque or Rococo style, so my work can humbly serve as a tool to point to the beauty itself and not be distracted by elaborate decorations. Second, because nature and humans are God's creations, and therefore we should also resemble parts of His beauty, I want to incorporate them in my works. It could be literally incorporated through landscape architecture or through architectural language, such as through sculpture, or more subtly, such as asymmetry forms. Third, I want my architectural work to have a timeless quality. Because beauty is unchanging, if my work successfully resembled beauty, then I believe it would be appreciated by people centuries after. I resonate with Christopher Alexander's idea that the order comes out of ourselves naturally and it is timeless. And I want my work to be something very natural. Finally, I want my work to have full attention to detail. I believe that detail is something that refines any work without any cost. I think architectural work doesn't have to cost billions of dollars to be elaborate and worthy, but details are what makes any work great. I also like and understand Mies van der Rohe's quote, "God is in the details." My ultimate goal is to build Catholic churches. However, I also want to figure out how to apply the styles I have described to other buildings. My biggest inspiration right now is Antoni Gaudi because I think his work resembles nature very successfully. Thank you for listening.